Football season is back. And guess what? We're 1-0. What's poppin', y'all? It's your man, Cloudboy Bales, and welcome to another episode of Wake Up Call. So, I've been really busy all day. I've had homework, I've had a lot of things going on, so of course that's why I'm super late on the video. But, of course, this is my reaction video on today's game, so got the dub. Everything looked really good today. Defensive-wise, not the best fourth quarter, but I'd say we look like a really good offense. I think Rodgers really looks, I'd say, like his old self. I'm really impressed with what I saw today. Anyways, I guess this is my thoughts. The MVP of the game definitely goes to Aaron Rodgers today. Definitely deserved. And then also our defensive player of the game goes to Jaire Alexander. I got to give him a shout out. He made some really great plays in the first half, so got to give it to him. Also, our running game, even though we didn't really run the ball as much as I thought we were going to today, actually didn't do as bad as I thought. We actually did a fairly great job at doing that, so that's what matters. So, anyways, Packers win 43-34. At one point, they led 29-10 at the end of the third quarter. Of course, Minnesota would have 23 unanswered points in the fourth quarter, or something like that, 24, yeah, but they kind of just went off in the 24 unanswered points in the fourth quarter, sorry. But yeah, defense kind of fared out, but a lot of it was because of Kenny Clark, which is why I'm going to give them the pass. Of course, before the end of the half, Kenny Clark has a groin injury apparently, and did not play in the whole rest of the game, but part of it, the injury didn't look that bad. He was walking and he looked fine, but they took him to the locker room and I feel like they were just kind of like, we got the lead, I think we're good. I think they just kind of were like, as long as we keep playing great in the second half, we don't need him, and they kind of just figured, why need him, so it's good. Also, Lane Taylor got injured. Apparently his injury is a knee injury. We don't know the full diagnostics on that. At first I thought he hit his head and got a concussion, but from the other replay, it looked like he actually fell and might have done something to his knee or something. It did look a little painful. I hope it's not anything too extreme, but part of me feels like it's the end of the year for him, unfortunately, but end of the Packer career, because obviously he's a free agent, but regardless, that hopefully it's not as serious as it looks, because our offensive line is very thin right now. Of course, John Runyon got the start after Lane Taylor went out, because, of course, Olgan Jenkins or whatever, because first off, Lucas Patrick gets injured, so we had to put partially injured Ricky Wagner in there. So he played fine. Got to give him that. So hopefully we can get our guys back, as in Billy Turner and all the we're really thin at the line right now. I feel that obviously signing Jared Valdir might actually have to happen, but we'll see what happens. That's that. Anyways, Aaron Rodgers had an outstanding performance. He looked like his old MVP self from a couple years ago. But despite not really having anything, I think the receivers that he had in this game stepped up. I know there was really only 3 guys that he targeted, but I'll just give out the numbers. Devontae Adams, for those who had him in fantasy, congratulations for picking him up. He got you 43 points or something like that. So It's fantastic. 14 catches, 156 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Marquez Valdez-Scantling had 4 catches for 96 yards and a TD, and Alan Lazard 4 catches for 63 yards and a TD. So our 3 wide receivers we got looked really great today. We didn't get to see much from the tight ends. DeGuara, our rookie, had a catch for 12 yards, and Sternberger was targeted once. But other than that, I feel like you're gonna probably see the tight ends a lot more. Today just was more the receivers because we didn't really need to go down the middle of the field. Everything was more of on the sidelines. And the reason why our receivers did so great was because Minnesota's secondary is actually very weak. Now, obviously everyone remembers Minnesota last year had one of the best defenses later on in the year, but today, of course, they were without Daniel Hunter, and of course they don't have no more Everson Griffin. They don't got Xavier Rhodes. They don't have Trey Waynes. They don't have their corners that they originally had. Their only returning corner is Mike Hughes, who is, he's pretty decent, but all their corners are rookies. So that's why Rodgers kept targeting the wide receivers more than the middle of the field. And that's why you saw the quick passes. That's why you saw the jet sweeps from Tyler Ervin and Lazard. I'm impressed with our running game. Aaron Jones, would I say he had an outstanding game? He had a touchdown, and he only had 66 yards and 16 carries. I'd say that's pretty good for a standard. Jamal Williams, 7 for 21. Irvin had 3 carries for 38, so he obviously did the jet sweep a couple of times. And then A.J. Dillon did get 2 carries for 14 yards. I think obviously he looked good, and I think they need to give him more opportunities. 2 good carries that average 7 yards. You got to give it to him. You got 4 guys that can run the ball really well. And Irvin is technically like a slot receiver because of how fast he is. So give him the opportunities. Then also for the defensive side, Christian Kirksey had 12 total tackles in today's game. 6 of them were solo. Jare Alexander sacked Kirk Cousins in the end zone for a safety, as well as had himself an interception. So a really good first half for Jare Alexander. Second half, he did get burned by Adam Thielen for 2 touchdowns, but I was not surprised because obviously the receivers didn't really look that spectacular. Diggs was obviously a huge loss for the Vikings. We didn't really get to see much from B.C. Johnson and Justin Jefferson. They did pretty okay. The running game was a little bit of struggles. We didn't really get to see Dalvin Cook do as much as have like explosive runs, but he did have like 2 touchdowns. And Alexander Madison, the same thing as him. But I think the Vikings did seem to really their offense did kick into high gear the second half, only because I believe Kenny Clark missing really did give them a whole big advantage in the fourth quarter. Obviously, the only reason why they didn't do well in the third was because the Packers ran the clock. Fourth quarter, every opportunity they had, they scored a touchdown, which was good for them. A couple penalties did put us in trouble, but I guess that Aaron Rodgers definitely deserves the MVP of today's game because of how our offense played today. So, yeah, that's that. Anyways, next week we play the Lions. They had a heartbreaking loss against Chicago today. They had a big lead. Chicago came back. Trubisky had 3 touchdowns in the second half. Unbelievable comeback game. Stafford drove all the way down or something like that, and the rookie running back, DeAndre Swift, dropped the game-winning touchdown with 10 seconds left to go. He was open, he adjusted, he just could not hold on. Probably one of the worst drop balls I've seen in a while. But yeah, we've had some pretty crazy games today. Washington actually beat the Eagles today in an upset, which is pretty insane. Jacksonville also won today, an impressive performance by Gardner Minshew. And then Tampa lost. It turns out that Brady is a system quarterback, and the Saints defense really demolished him. So a lot of Tampa fans probably are upset that Brady isn't the same quarterback as he is, but what can you say? He's like 43 years old, and yeah, and Barry can move, so it's different. I mean, what can you do? But Saints got the win in a really great defensive game. Kamara had 2 touchdowns. It was really the defense that really stuck through. 2 picks, one of them returned for a touchdown by Janoris Jenkins. That's great. And then the only other game that I heard was pretty crazy was Bengals and Chargers. Apparently Joe Burrow drove all the way down, threw what would have been a touchdown to AJ Green. They called it off, I think. I don't know what it was, if they said incomplete or pass interference or something like that. So they had to kick an easy chip shot 35-yard field goal, and of course the kicker missed it. So that was pretty insane ending of a game. Feel bad. Joe Burrow actually really wanted that. I wouldn't say he had an outstanding performance, but he looked good. Also, the 49ers lost today. Kyler Murray had an impressive second half. A good 4th down stop in the red zone. But yeah, Cardinals win. They look really good, I'd say. Kyler Murray had almost 100 rushing yards on the ground. And yeah, pretty fair. Pretty fair for that. Also, other wins included Oakland beating Carolina. Josh Jacobs had like 3 touchdowns. Impressive. Cam Newton's debut with Patriots went really well, as he'd had like 2 rushing touchdowns, and I'd say he looked pretty good. I think the Patriots have a really great running attack. Anyways, and then some other games I probably missed. Yeah, I mean, those are the only ones. I think I got all of them. Maybe I'm probably missing one, but yeah, some really good games. Of course, tomorrow, the Pittsburgh Steelers take on the New York Giants, and the Tennessee Titans take on the Denver Broncos. So it's a doubleheader for Monday Night Football on ESPN. So stay tuned to that. Anyways, Packers will be facing the Lions next week at home. I think this one's going to be a very close game. We've had some really close games against the Lions. Last year, we beat the Lions both times when we trailed the entire game. Mason Crosby hit 2 game-winning field goals, and yeah, that's that. So, anyways, I'm excited to see what this team brings. Hopefully this running game is as good as it seems. Obviously this first half of the schedule is pretty hard, but I say the next week we win. Of course, I'll be making a video on my predictions on that. So anyways, this is Cloudboy Vales. Hope you enjoyed a fun day of football. Obviously right now is Dallas versus the Rams. I currently was waiting till halftime to make this video, so we'll see what happens. I have Dak in fantasy. I don't know. So we'll see how everything goes. Anyways, stay safe and be smart, and go Pack Go. See you next time, and please subscribe.